Hello, classmates and professors. I am Olga Costa, and together with Kedisha Haji, we are going to present a extraordinary story of Maung Yu, a man who struggles to get indigenous children into school and works to achieve that these children can be educated in their mother tongue. And I will also talk about why schools should teach children in their home language. Mount Yeo's story once in 2016, one of the Outlook Inspirations awarded by the BBC. He grew up in the Chittagong Hill Tracts, a region in Bangladesh bordering India and Myanmar, which has a unique landscape surrounded by rolling hills and forested mountains, which are largely uninhabited. There are 12 indigenous communities in this area, which culture, traditions, lifestyle, and languages have withstood the test of time. But in the 1960s, began a period of ethnic cleansing that ended with the 1997 peace accords. And during this time, indigenous groups were displaced, and the Bangladesh government has settled hundreds of thousands of Bengali people in the Chittagong Hills, and thus became the majority of the population in the region. And under their occupation, Bengali has since become the official language. Mount Yeo belongs to the Marma ethnic community, and he left the school at 6 because he could not understand what the teacher said, and he was beaten with a cane, even though he did not do anything wrong. He remembered his 1 hour walk home from school, crying and suffering the pain of the beatings, and he told his parents that he did not want to go to school anymore. He studied at home. Her mother gave him homework, and he had to pass exams that his mother prepared for him, just like the other children at school. And today, he's currently working on his dissertation at the Harvard Graduate School of Education in Cambridge. Maung Yeo survived the genocide and ethnic cleansing, but he did not know how to write in his own language. And like him, 60% of Yuma children are illiterate in their own language and drop out of primary school. Linguistic minority children around the world are forced to learn in a foreign language in other than their own. And it has been demonstrated that this makes learning an unpleasant experience that leads to passiveness and silence in the classroom. Not forgetting that children's mother tongue runs the risk of being replaced or disappeared. And this phenomenon has been called in to 2000, but should not canvas as submersion, which it means sink or swim. It's like holding learners underwater without teaching them how to swim. Why a language loss is so distressing? I am a translator and interpreter student, and I have a basic knowledge of linguistics. And although I had heard about those languages considered dead, such as Latin, which had been international language for longer than English or Spanish, words such as linguistic diversity, linguistic human rights, or linguistic genocide are very new for me. Change is the only constant in nature, and language is no exception. In my research, a large number of scholarly and academic works states that around 7,000 languages are still spoken in the world, and about half of them will disappear by the end of this century. Organizations such as MIT, UNESCO, or National Geographic are warning that there are between 6,000 and 7,000 languages currently spoken, and that between 50 and 90% will have become extinct by the year 2050. 1,100. And one research suggests that one language dies every 14 days. So there are a large number of statistics which illustrate how linguistic diversity is endangered. But often these claims are not supported by the findings, but in statistics that instead of give meaning to the data are used to sensationalize and confuse. We deal with them every day on the social media or in my case at work. We have learned to build a post-truth, not with numbers or statistics. They do not lie, but their interpretation. But I'm not interested on truth as irrelevant, as something that appeal emotions instead of facts. Therefore, I've searched the answer in translation studies, and what I found how much get lost when a language dwells in silence. The language does not just allow us to share our thoughts, but is shaped by the culture and environment it speakers life in. Sometimes bilingual speakers use words or expressions of both languages when speak each other because it seems impossible to find the right word or expression in only one of them. Why should we care if languages will die out? And why it is right to think that languages are like a form of life and must protect linguistic diversity as if it were the biological diversity? Just Google defines cognition as the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge or an understanding through thought, experience, and senses. And the next question is how to transmit knowledge without language. Understanding language as a system of symbols and rules that is used for communication. Um, Learning a language started at home, but according to UNESCO statistics, around 40% of the population are not taught in a language they understand. Home language shift means breakdown to the link to family and the communication between generations. Mang Yeo and people of his generation did not know how to write in their own language. And through the project Our Golden Hour, he opened a school in 2009 where at first there were 12 students, and 6 years later, more than 650 children learn in their native language. He and the other members of the project are creating and publishing teaching materials in the endangered language of the region. The stories that students ask parents and grandparents are being filmed, transcribed, and edited. And the old men of the community are grateful to him for it because their grandchildren come and talk to them and they want to hear what the village elders say. The aim of Mang Yeo is also the reason why children should be taught in the native language to improve the educational achievement, to strengthen the cultural and family ties, and to avoid that minority languages shift and death. And thanks for watching.